It's time to do a full 7-round mock draft for the San Francisco 49ers, and let's get into it right now with the first pick. Actually, at 31, I have the San Francisco 49ers executing a trade back to 33. And the reason why I did this is because the team that was offering gave us a pick 101. And that to me was a good enough move to drop back, still get the player that we wanted. We lose out on the fifth-year option, but we do pick up a player at 101. And to me, the value was too good to pass up. So we go and take Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle out of Arizona, 6'5", 311 pounds. I think he is a quality player who has a ton of room to continue to develop. He can come in, try to compete with Colton McKivitz on the right side, even though he was a 3-year starter at left tackle. He could try to compete at right tackle, and at minimum, he could be the left tackle of the future for the San Francisco 49ers. I think this guy has some quality traits. He's in the 86th percentile when it comes to 40 time, running a 5.04 40. He shows the ability to have technical upside in regards to how he baits with his hands, good feet, good base. He does look like a guy who could thrive in pass protection at the next level. So I have the 49ers taking him at 33 and sticking true to like the value, just taking a value, right? Instead of trading up, giving up assets to go get a guy, they move back, get additional assets, and get a value. I think that could be the way the 49ers attack this draft. But not only do you get a guy who just did this to Liatu Latu, who's considered to be the best ranked edge defender in this upcoming class, you go out and you get a huge value by Florida State defensive tackle Braden Fisk falling to 63. Now, in reality, I don't know if this happens, but according to the mock draft simulator that I was using, it did. So I took him. And because this is how these types of things happen. So, not saying it's going to, but with him being there, I swooped. When I see him, I look at he looks like a twitched up Justin Smith to me with an absolutely insane motor. If you were able to get this guy, he's going to be your day one starter at defensive tackle across from Javon Hargrave. This would be just an absolutely phenomenal pick. He's 6'4", 292 pounds. He's actually a transfer to Florida State from Western Michigan. And I mean, he's a dog. There's no other way to put it. Last season, he had 40 tackles, 14 assisted with 36 stops. He had 42 total pressures as an interior pass rusher, 5 quarterback hits, and 8 sacks on the year. This guy is going to be a stud, and San Francisco 49ers could get him in the second or in 63. That would be a huge, huge get. Another guy that I really like is cornerback DJ James out of Auburn. He's played a lot of snaps throughout his career. He got starts at Oregon and Auburn after he transitioned. He has phenomenal size at 6 foot, 175 pounds. I think he could be a guy that could seriously push for snaps on the San Francisco 49ers secondary rotation. He has a great ball skills. He has a great instinct for the ball. He has great technique. I think he's a guy that is kind of slept on and could be a great fit for the 49ers, who do need some additional cornerback depth and help. But I also like Austin Booker, edge out of Kentucky. So the pick that we got in the trade back, we take an edge, and I absolutely love his archetype. When you look at his frame, he's 6'4", 240 pounds. I think he's a guy that will get he'll add more weight in the NFL. He'll be able to add more size, more strength, more muscle mass. So I think getting him here would be a great value because you can put him behind Leonard Floyd, who they have very similar traits and skill sets as pass rushers, speed, uh, the ability and the suddenness to counter inside moves. They have a whole bag of pass rush moves. I think he would be a great fit in that mold. He won't be your kind of base down edge in the NFL, but he will be a quality situational pass rusher with developmental upside. So if you get him here at 101, put him behind a like a very similar player in Leonard Floyd, you could see some immense value out of a situational pass rusher like this. So I really, really like this pick at 101. And then at 124, I think this is an immense value for this particular player. The 49ers in this mock draft select South Dakota State offensive guard center Mason McCormack. In my opinion, this guy is going to be a starting center in the NFL at 6'4", 309 pounds at South Dakota State. When speaking at the combine, he was asked why he didn't transfer to a Power 5 conference, and he stated his loyalty was to his teammates and this school that gave him a shot. And so even though he knew he could play in Power 5, it was very important to him to stay at South Dakota State, and I really appreciated that answer. When you look at him as an athlete, he is a quality athlete. In his 40 time, he ranked in the 84th percentile, running a 5.08 40. His shuttle time was a 4.45, which is in the 94th percentile. His 10-yard split, 1.71, has him in the 86th percentile. His vertical, 35.5, 99th percentile, and his broad jump is 117. That has him in the 98th percentile. So this guy's an athlete when it comes to offensive line standards, especially on the interior. This is a guy that's a dog. He's a mauler. He's got movement ability, and that's what you need in a outside zone scheme. But he also can run all of the gap scheme stuff. So this is a guy that would be a huge get for the 49ers as well. Another guy that I really like in this class is Tennessee running back Jaylen Wright. I really do think Jaylen Wright has a lot of potential. And with the San Francisco 49ers having two young running backs in Elijah Mitchell and Jordan Mason behind Christian McCaffrey, who will be free agents here pretty soon, they could look to the draft to get cost controlled if those guys do leave in free agency. Jaylen Wright is 5'10", 210 pounds. He ran a 4.38 40, which has him in the 94th percentile in all of the draft prospects coming out. He has great vision, great ability to break tackles. I think he's a stud. I really do. First carry I saw of this kid, I said, oh, he's different. So I really like what he brings to the table. He ran for over 1,000 yards on 136 attempts, which has him at 7.4 yards per carries, 4 touchdowns. He did have 1 fumble, but he also added 22 receptions for 141 yards. If you can get Jaylen Wright at this value, that's a win for the San Francisco 49ers. And I do think they would get better from this. I also think the 49ers could go linebacker as well to continue to stack depth. And if they could get a guy like Jaylen Ford coming over from Texas, I think he could be a guy that could develop into something really well. He plays really solid around the line of scrimmage. He's 6'2", 240 pounds. Doesn't test, through the roof or anything like that. But I do think one of his best attributes is run defense. And he could be a guy that the 49ers look to fill as a depth piece and potential special teamer. And who knows, maybe he fits into a role where that grows throughout the season if he does make the roster. But he did have 101 tackles last season and 1 sack. And he has proven that he can actually be effective rushing the passer as well. And he also had some interceptions, as you can see on the clip. So he's another guy that I think could definitely be a fit for the 49ers. I skip over. Let me go back to this so you can see it. I skipped over Sione Vaikai just because I've picked him before, so I've highlighted his highlights prior. This is just a value that I can't pass up in these mocks. For him to be sitting there at 176, I feel like you have to run to the podium. He's a little bit undersized, 5'11", 210 pounds, but he is coming in as a sophomore. He is a Bay Area kid coming out of Antioch. But I think he just fits that mold, the Talanoa Hufanga mold, in regards to not being, the craziest athlete or anything like that. But I do think he provides immense value. I mean, dude ran a 4.48 at his pro day yesterday, so he kind of was able to squash some of the speed concerns about him just with that. But I mean, he plays physical, he's aggressive, he comes downhill. He's a guy that I really like in this class, and I think the 49ers also like him as well. Another guy who stood out from the combine was Tip Ryman. Tip Ryman, in my opinion, is fills a need of the 49ers have to figure out, and then that comes at tight end 2. One of the reasons why I like him is because he already shows high upside as a blocker, and that's what the tight end 2 needs to be for the San Francisco 49ers. So I think you could bring this guy in. He could he would definitely be able to compete right away with Latu and Braden Willis. At 6'5", 271 pounds, he tested really well at the combine. And like I said, he has high upside as a blocker. And I think he could produce in the pass game as well. Again, he's a George Kittle type, doesn't have crazy production at all throughout his career. I mean, just last year he played in 12 games, had 19 catches, 203 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So he's not a big time pass catching producer, but that's not why he's being brought in. He would be brought in to help block, which is really what is necessary for the San Francisco 49ers. With the next pick, I actually go back-to-back wide receivers with Jordan Whittington out of Texas and Bub Means out of Pittsburgh. Whittington, to me, feels like a Niner receiver. He's 6'1", 205 pounds. He runs a 4.47, but he is like the epitome of do it all, do the dirty work, and have a smile on his face. He played in 13 games last season, 37 catches, 424 yards, and 1 touchdown. He had a better production season in 2022 with 45 catches, 608 yards. From that standpoint, but to me, he's a guy that is, lunch pail guy, kind of like that Jawan Jennings mentality. I think he would fit really well, and he's also kind of more of a slot guy, in my opinion, who could do a lot of work over the middle and do a lot of the dirty work, like we talked about. That's why I really like him as a prospect, and could also be a special teamer. And then Bub Means, 6'1", 212, more of a prototypical wide receiver, kind of outside wide receiver. He's tests phenomenally well out of Pittsburgh. He's kind of hopped all over the place, started at Tennessee, then he went to Louisiana Tech, and then he went to Pittsburgh. So he's kind of floated all around, which could, have impact on his production, but he's also a guy that I think would be a great practice squad stash for the San Francisco 49ers. So, hey, complete 7-round mock draft with some trades. I think the 49ers will get better with that one, but you guys let me know what you think. Let me know how you're feeling about this mock draft in the comments below. Good, bad. I know there's it is impossible to have a mock draft where everyone agrees it's good. I know that for a fact, so I'm not going to be upset if you didn't like those picks, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comment below. Again, I want to see your scouting reports. I want to see your critiques, all those different types of things. Drop it in the comments below, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.